Hello.
Hello.
I am having fun.
I would like to investigate the portal to see if there's any indication of how to turn it on.
Is it plugged in?
That is a whopping 19. Could I investigate the room for possible buttons or levers or switches? Another, it would be the same investigation check or another investigation check.
Insanity, you may be
I'll help
super
him out.
quiet on the stream. Or not audio picking up. I'm not sure.
And switch.
$5 because that's usually what it does.
Yay, OBS was being dumb. Okay, cool. So no one could hear me for the first couple minutes that we were live here. Wasn't that live? You know, it wouldn't be audio issues if OBS wasn't being stupid. So we recapped just what happened last week, and OBS decided that it wanted to change which microphone I was using, and so no one could hear me on stream. Our players are trying to figure out how to activate this portal, and that's where we're at. So let's go ahead and get into it. So Ray just tried searching the portal and couldn't find any way to activate it, and now wants to search the room and got
And I
a.
rolled I rolled a 13 on that investigation for the room.
All right. So inside this room, there are no levers or buttons of any kind. No indication of anything like that in this room.
Impossible. How could a room not have levers and buttons?
The moment I moved into my house, I had every room installed with levers and buttons. Did someone last session state that portals only go one way?
I know the runes came up. I don't think anyone had enough portal knowledge to know that. I don't know if any of us have used portals so much.
Well,
Except for that one
Ito
time.
did actually mention he has been through a portal recently, and the one he was through was one way.
And Sephin's check look that he got about the portal indicates that this portal goes to one specific place. I don't know if maybe that's what you were remembering, Ore.
That's probably what I was remembering. Um, would there be any way, without turning it on, to determine where the portal goes to?
Nope.
Is this the portal that brought Ito to this building?
No, it is not. He would probably tell you guys he came through a portal and then was knocked out and brought to this location.
So, it looks like the desk boy has gotten away. Can't turn this back on. And his friends might be coming back to visit soon. What say we check that door we missed before again and get out of here before all of the gnolls show up?
I would concur. Is anyone have the ability to set some sort of alarm for this room if someone were to follow us, possibly through the portal?
I I can do that, and then I will. Seth will touch like the top right of his head above his eye, and a little arcane eye will light up, and now the room has been alarmed. Specifically, the doorway out of in and out of the room.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like you want to go and check the last door in this building that you haven't gotten through yet.
Yeah, and then if we missed anything else, but I think we've been pretty thorough so far.
Yeah. So there was just the one door that you couldn't get through. You tried breaking it down and failed, and tried burning it down, and that seemed to dissipate after a few seconds. So that was also unsuccessful.
So at this point, gonna hand a crowbar to Ito, the mentor, and be like, pat his shoulder and be like, "Good luck, buddy." Point him at the door.
Ito steps up to the door and he's like, "Thank you, thank you." And he's gonna try to break it open. Is that straight strength or athletics?
So that'll be a strength check. So you guys are back in the room with the altar, or looking at this large door.
You do get advantage for the crowbar.
Ito just kind of glances at the altar for a moment and then goes, "Oh, nasty," and then continues on with what he's doing. No further comment.
Yeah, we're not sure what was on there because there was a caster
That's
fellow
uh,
and a crocodile, and neither of them were bleeding.
that's a 23 total.
All right. So with that, you get the crowbar in between the door jamb, and you pry on it, and the door pops off of its hinges, falling backward into the room. And you can see that it is a short hallway that leads to a spiral staircase. The stairs lead both up and down.
Seki's gonna look a bit disappointed. Spiral staircases are unfortunate.
I vote we
I'm
go
a
up.
fan of going up as well.
Well, this is likely that tower we saw from outside, so worth checking out.
They always put the cool stuff at the top of towers.
All right. So heading up the spiral staircase, it goes up 3 levels before it comes to a hatch that you can open up and climb out of. The hatch is unlocked. Climbing up into it, you come out on a rooftop. And you can definitely see that this indeed was the tower that you saw that's allowed you to find this building off in the distance. On top of the tower is a telescope.
Where is it
Which
pointed?
direction? Yeah.
What time of day is it again?
So by this point, it is getting close to evening, and so the stars will be coming out soon.
I'm gonna start sketching the view of the swamp and jungle from the top of the tower, making a super sweet landscape of swampiness.
Okay.
The telescope has got Ore a little excited. So yeah, the last question: which direction is the telescope pointed?
So it is pointed towards the northwest, up into the sky.
Are there any dials or controls that Ore could start making a note of the very specific longitude, latitude, angle of the? And there's actual determination what something in the sky. I can't remember what it's called.
Azimuth. You want the azimuth,
That's
attitude,
what I
or
want.
elevation.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a very basic telescope, so there aren't a lot of dials, very few. It's mostly just turn and point it in a direction and angle it, and that's all done manually.
So Ore will grab his astrolabe and start doing the calculations manually based on what his astrolabe says where that's pointing.
Okay.
While Ori is doing that, is there anything else in the room if we do a quick sweep?
Yes.
It's not a room, it's the open area, and no, there is not anything else out here. It seems as if this tower was designed for looking up into the sky, or possibly looking out into the swamp.
I think we would like to inherit this place someday. So maybe we should go back to the city and then come back and see if if it's still inhabited.
Yeah, but it's in a swamp.
How big is the telescope?
So it's pretty small compared to what you would be used to, Ore, having been at Moongazer's Tower. But it's not easily portable by most people. It would take a couple people carrying it to move it.
Would it fit in our magic bag?
Um,
Can we steal it?
you could try to fit it in your magic bag. It is not bolted down though, so you could probably just pack horse it yourself. Being a centaur.
That is a culturally inappropriate term, but I understand.
I am offended, sir.
Does anyone have any objections if we took this with us? I know it would be inconvenient to carry through the swamp.
It might be inconvenient, but it would also rob them of their ability to see us or anyone else coming quickly.
Yeah,
So
I mean, we're either taking it or we're breaking it. So
Do we plan on returning to the city?
at
That
this
swamp
point,
was hard enough to traverse during the day. I do not even want to imagine traversing it in the evening.
well, to be fair, we were attempting to follow someone before. We can probably go much quicker.
I vote we take it. Ore could make good use of it, I would reckon.
I do think it would be a good idea to try and get the information we've gathered thus far to the council.
If it is not a device that we would be able to utilize, it certainly would be utilized by other entities within society.
Ito takes probably this moment to point out. So, where are we?
In a swamp.
A little more large terms, perhaps? I don't know of any swamps.
we're about an hour or so outside of Bracknell to the east.
You're a couple hours to the southeast of Bracknell.
In the
Brack-
wild.
Brack.
The island that looks kind of like cats fighting.
In the water?
Southeast?
Southeast of Bracknell is in the water.
Northeast, I think, may
Yeah, I think we're
be what
northeast.
you meant.
Let me look at my map.
Because we're in the
Insanity
swampy
map is
part, not the
upside
rocky
down.
part.
We've been going the
Oh
wrong
yeah,
way
yeah,
the whole
yeah.
time.
Sorry, for some reason I was thinking it was further north than it was that Bracknell was. Yeah.
Before we
Brack,
disturb
Brack,
the telescope, I want to look through it and see if I can see anything on the other side.
Okay. So it is pointed up into the sky right now. There is nothing up where it is pointed. Um,
From the star charts that are engraved in the astrolabe, could I determine what stars this might be pointing to at this time of the year?
make a nature check.
There's a lot of stars. Good
There
luck.
are a lot of stars.
Well, that's a natural one for a total of 5.
You have no clue, given that you've never been to this part of the world and your memories from when you were a stargazer are hit or miss. You're just not recalling anything about what is in that direction.
Okay, what direction did you say it was? Southwest, did you say?
It's pointed to the northwest.
Northwest. Northwest, got it.
Yes.
It'd be funny if it's been knocked out of place. It's entirely arbitrary now.
Yeah, and even where it's pointed might even be arbitrary, but what's northwest from us?
The main continent.
Oh man, this dude's been spying on the main continent.
But I mean,
Would
it's
he
pointing to the stars.
Right.
would he have range to see if something was fired from the mainland, like a flare or something? Would he be able to see it with his telescope?
We're like months away.
Not easily. So, but there is a lot to the northwest between you and the main continent. Like it covers a large part of the swamp of the wild, and then it covers the Sea of Sorrows before reaching the main continent. Um, so, seeing what you could with the telescope, you probably wouldn't see anything fired from the main continent.
I gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Ore wasn't in the cell room where everybody pulled the treasure out of. Um, when we went through the books in that bookshelf room, what were the books that Ore read?
Um, what books did you grab? I know that Mizeki was just going and grabbing them and throwing them in.
Yeah, we basically grabbed all of them.
Right, but I
Yeah.
did look through a few of them before they were snatched out of my hands. So I just want to kind of get an idea of what books they were.
Okay. So most of the books in this area um, talk about the history of the wild itself. So it talks about the founding of the city of Bracknell by the Tabaxi. It talks about the wars between the lizard folk and the turtles until they came to live in peace throughout the swamps. And it talks about a lot of the history of the so called Fertile Blessing Temple that is said to reside somewhere in the center of the swamp.
Good to know. We leveled up, but we didn't have a long rest yet.
Yeah, we haven't slept yet, so we're still technically level 2.
Correct.
So we're stealing this. I'll pick it up and get some help to disassemble it if necessary, and
Yeah.
store it.
Well,
Wow.
let's check downstairs and then let's get out of here.
Okay.
Mizeki's going to express again his concern that it's getting to night and the bad people are probably coming back. Because there definitely weren't supposed to be like 6 people here in a giant fort.
Agreed. Let us
We
make
could-
haste and leave this place.
We could barricade ourselves into one of the rooms to acquire a rest. Be prepared with watch if someone does arrive in the middle of the evening.
We'd be
could
better off just
also
getting back
leave.
to actual
Yeah, getting back to a
civilization.
Stone
place.
wise, my friend.
Get
Yes,
back to
that
a
is
place that
smart.
has beds that aren't falling apart and filled with mold poop.
And fleas.
All right.
Those aren't really a concern of mine, but I understand your need for creature comforts.
Okay, so Stefan, you said you wanted to head down. So is that just back down to the main level, or did you want to follow the stairs where they lead
I
down?
wanted to follow the stairs real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going down past the main level unless I have to.
Okay.
Because
Oh, well,
going
Seth wants to go
downstairs
down
is very
Elendil will
low.
happily
Yeah.
follow Sephin down
As will
Yeah.
and
Ore.
take a peek.
Yeah, you
Ito
guys
will
can go,
probably
but
lead the
going
way down.
downstairs is hard for horse people, so
Yeah.
Okay. So you head down to these stairs. At the bottom of these stairs is another door, double door.
I
Is
try
it
and open
unlocked?
it.
It opens. With your dark vision, you can see into this hallway, and it is just littered with bones.
free bones.
Well, time to go.
Does it lead over to the west?
So it does head west from here, and so it curves around as well. You
Does
imagine
it
that,
smell similar to the well that I found earlier?
yeah, you imagine that this connects to that well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Seth is gonna be like, "Nope, go. It's time to go up," and remind everybody of that gelatinous cube that he found on accident, and still feels bad about that poor Noli McNollerson.
The downstairs is closed.
Yeah,
I'll
so
shut the door and follow Sephin back up.
yeah, I will tell Mizeki and anybody else who stayed up here about it, and then let's go.
All right, which way are you wanting to go? Are you wanting to return to Bracknell or head further into the swamp in search
Seth would
of?
like to go to Bracknell and alert the counselors.
Yeah, I feel like dropping off the info we've got at least is a good idea right now.
Okay.
And
In
then
case
maybe,
we TPK, they'll at least have some
yeah.
info.
So if we all die in the swamps, it's not just we're dead.
Okay.
Plus, we've lost the trail of pretty much anything else that would be time sensitive at this point. So we might as well just go back and then come back again.
All right.
Or we could stay here, wait for whatever night patrol comes back. Because if assuming this place looks like it was maintained on a light garrison, and then we could use that considering we have no information about Shadow or anything else where they're going deeper in.
You think the Knolls would know?
They're going somewhere.
I mean, we can always come back and attempt to track people. If it's more than 3 or 4 people moving, that's trackable.
It's
Yes,
it's
that is
worth asking. It's
my
worth
vote as
asking
well.
since it was mentioned in DMs that Ito actually knows, or at least recognizes the three like Knoll bosses. Have we seen all three of them dead yet?
You haven't seen any of them.
Cool. So those ones might actually know.
Let us return to Bracknell, deliver the information, have a good night's sleep. Remember, Seth is very looking forward to staying in that inn because Sadzi very rudely forced me on this journey. No, I'm just kidding. But everybody was like, "We gotta go." So Seth would not mind sleeping in a normal place. Also, send off the info to the counselors, have a good meal, and then maybe come back and check it out again
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we can always return in force.
And besides, if we are able to get in touch with the counselors, perhaps we can ask them about a better method of communication than whatever we might be able to scrape together in Bracknell for right now.
Yeah. And
We
there
should
is a
also,
portal here they should know about.
Yeah.
plus, Ito also knows the three heads of the Knolls that we can also exchange that information to them as well.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to check in with home base.
Ito, what was the location you portaled to or portaled from originally?
Yes, I was about to ask, do any of you know where Umberwall is?
Nay.
Isn't that what Mizeki should say?
I'll kill you.
You beat me to it.
Can we roll to see if we know where Umberwall is? I
None of
don't know where Umberwall is.
none of you would know.
Never heard of it.
The continent, perhaps. Saruan?
Sounds like a terrible place.
Okay, well, I find that mildly offensive. What is this place called?
This is Haplorini. Well, technically we're off the coast of Haplorini. This is the wild, but we are from Haplorini.
What realm are you from?
Haplorini. Realm?
Yes, nation.
People's place. Where are you from? What's it called?
Men may
The-
call them kingdoms.
That would be Umberwall, yes. And what I heard you speaking of counselors, that similarly to how that shadow was speaking. Do you not have kings here?
Some have kings.
There's going to be some squinting going on. There shouldn't be any kings.
What do you mean shouldn't? I know a king. He's quite a nice fellow, really.
I'm going to
I
let you
would
know that
keep
you
that
shouldn't talk
quiet
about
if I
this.
were
Yeah.
you. People from these lands don't have too great of a past. In fact, we left a huge celebration that was in reverence of the beheading of the final king on the continent. So I'd
Seth
be a
will look around
little
shifty eyes.
shh about you.
Of course, yes. There are rumors of odd nations that would have a king, but
Right. Okay. Thank you for the fair warning. That would explain many things about my interactions with Shadow. Uh, yes. So,
are you
as
from the world of Valade?
While this is happening, Mizeki's going to kind of make sure that we're actually walking because we've
Yeah.
got a couple
Walk and
hours.
talk. Walk and talk.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he would know that name. Presumably, yes, but
Yes.
yeah. Yes, I'm from Valade. I am the continent of Saruan. I am from Umberwall. I was exploring the ruins of Umberwall. It's really a complicated naming system. Please don't ask too many questions about it. Frankly, it's slightly absurd.
What was the calendar date that you last remember?
What is
I
a
have that in my
calendar?
notes. Give me a second. It's somewhere in my notes.
While he's looking for that, what is the calendar date that we're currently in?
It's currently Tuesday.
So it is currently the 601st year in the Age of Prosperity is what you would know it as.
The 2120th year since the fall, if my counting is correct. It has been a bit since I've been with society. 2 years or 2 months in jail, plus gods only know how long, or divines only know how long in those ruins. I have heard this 600 or 601st thing from Shadow. Is that what you all use?
Yes, we mark the Age of Prosperity as the ending of the Age of Kings.
Right. Okay. I will try to remember that. Thank you.
The easiest answer is just don't talk about it. Most people don't care. Most people won't ask.
Perfect. Thank you.
Remind me again the date that you said it was?
Ito said it was 2120, I believe. Specifically 2120 since the fall.
Since the fall. Okay.
COVID lasted a very long time in his continent. So, do we need to do anything special to get back to town? Or we just-
I'm assuming that Sadzi is leading you, given her familiarity with this area.
That's probably a good idea, yeah.
Yeah, then no.
Yep, fine by me.
Cool.
Sadzi is familiar enough with returning to Bracknell.
So I guess at this point, our first goal is how do we tell people? Is there a group we can talk to locally that we need to communicate with the counselors? We probably should have asked these things before we got in a boat and teleported and all that jazz, but we didn't. So here we are.
We can deal with that in the morning. Let's just
We
get
are the
back to
worst
bed.
investigative team ever. We just like accepted our badge and left the office.
In our
Well-
defense, we weren't prepared very well either. They were like, "Hey, where do you want to go? Great, teleport. Boom. Good luck."
Yeah, there was 0 onboarding. I'm giving them 0 stars.
Well, Bracknell is the city of the Tabaxi. The Tabaxi are the two counselors are Tabaxi. They've got to have some sort of a station or office in Bracknell, I would assume.
That would make sense. Let's try that.
I'll show you where it is, but I'll leave you to it.
Go to the post office or whatever.
How late is it when we return? Because it took us a few hours to get out there, but that was in the morning, and then we were there for a couple hours and came back. So it was probably like after like dusk-ish.
So it was about maybe an hour before dusk when you left. So it's nightfall by the time you get back, maybe about 8:30 p.m.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was later because Steph wanted to eat dinner and then go to bed.
Yeah, and you guys had rested and taken short rests as well as your travel out there.
Is there any like captain of the guard or anything? I feel like we should at least tell someone that there's a bunch of aggressive gnolls out there attacking people on site, and they're being led by a bad person who can teleport.
Yeah, it's not so late that we can't go find someone. Let's do that. Sadzi was going to show us to the Tabaxi counselor's office or area.
Outpost or whatever.
Okay. So,
Making our way downtown.
all right. So you head back to Bracknell and head to the town hall in Bracknell, where the counselor would be located. This town hall is already closed for the evening. And so this would be something to come back and check in the morning.
Dang government workers.
Yeah. They
Keeping reasonable hours.
They stop work at 5.
Are they still in the city? I mean, this is important enough that we would probably want to interrupt them.
And there should be like a
I've-
guardhouse or a barracks or something.
Yeah.
You know, there's got to be personnel that would watch over the counselors, as well as, watching over the general safety of the city.
City watch, city guard, that type of thing. Yeah, I get it.
Right. There would be city watch, but that is not the same as the counselor town hall. So
I want to secure rooms for the evening.
okay. So the best place to do that would be the Swift Mouse Inn. The Tabaxi get a kick out of that name.
Sounds lovely.
So
probably
can
want
we
several
not find the
rooms.
counselors tonight then?
Not at the town hall.
So I guess while Elendella goes off to secure some rooms for us, probably give him some money in case he needs extra because we're gonna need several rooms.
I got the fat bag of holding full of gold. I think I got it.
That's true. You have that one bag. It's got some of the gold, not all of it. And then the rest of us will go find a guard place so we can let them know we have critical information and are here at the behest of the council as a whole.
Okay.
Ito is actually going to go with Alondiel because he wants to just sleep after 2 months of imprisonment.
And take a bath.
Yes, also take a bath.
All right. So searching around, you come to the guard barracks, to the city guard barracks here in Bracknell. So it is open. There are 2 guards posted outside of the entry to the barracks. Both tabaxi.
I approach with everybody else and say, "Hello, may we speak to the watch commander?"
What's this about? The captain doesn't like speaking to everybody that demands his attention.
We
We
were
have.
commissioned.
Oh, go ahead.
We were commissioned by the council to investigate the Knoll attacks. We have information of a Knoll stronghold a few hours to the northwest of Bracknell in the swamp.
Very well. Let me see if he is home. If he is available, he will come and speak with you.
It is
And
of the utmost importance, I assure you.
the tabaxi will turn and go inside while the other one just kind of stands there, waiting for you. As you say, it is of the utmost importance. The other one speaks up and going, well, you can tell us about it. You don't necessarily need to speak to the guard captain.
We actually want to speak to the counselors, but we felt it was prudent to alert the guard as well that there are aggressive and attacking on-site gnolls in the area.
All right. Well, as far as letting the counselors know, Marble is very rarely in Bracknell anymore since becoming the Grand Counselor, and Zamza has not yet returned from the trip to the King's End Festival. We had word that they had some other matters to attend to.
Do you not have a
Clearly,
method to contact them?
indeed.
We do not. So, as he oversees the entire nation, not just the city, there is nothing in the city that would require his immediate attention. If
There is not
anything,
a clerk or a messenger that could contact the counselor in the entire city.
well, we would not. The mayor, perhaps, would be who you would want to speak with.
Yes, you daft guard, that is what we were asking you.
You asked if we could. We cannot.
Maseki's going to kind of rub his face a little bit. It's been a very long day, and we're coming off a very long sea trip. We need to speak to, it sounds like the mayor, if you could help us get to that. We felt coming here first was best because the town hall is closed.
Yeah, makes sense. It's after 5. They go home. Wish I could do that.
Don't we all? We're all like covered in mud and sweat. We've been trumping through the swamplands
And
and
like blood,
violence.
because we've been wounded, and some of us almost died.
And he goes, yes, I can see. Just 1 minute. And he opens the door and he yells, Rexus, can you come out here for a moment? And you see this black tiefling emerge from the room. And the tabaxi just kind of gestures at you and says, could you help them? And Rexus just kind of looks at you, smells a bit, and goes, mm-hmm. And then you instantly feel a gust of wind as you are all instantly cleaned of all of your clothes. All
Ezeki
the
will
dirt
put
and
his hand
gunk.
on his cloak and cover it, so his cloak isn't lifted.
Nice.
It would be rude.
That's very efficient. Thank you.
Can
Yes.
I do an Arcana check?
You would be familiar enough to know that's the prestidigitation spell.
Yeah, that's cool.
Appreciated.
Many thanks. Now, about the guard captain or the mayor.
The other tabaxi, Kite is fetching the captain, or seeing if he is available at the moment. The captain will take you to the mayor if it is deemed urgent by him to wake the mayor.
Understood. Where's a good place to eat? Like, where would you go to eat?
Where would I go? Well,
You wanted a nice dinner.
I've always liked the Colossal Duck Bar.
That sounds delicious. Let's do that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So after a moment, two tabaxi return from inside. The one that initially went in and another one dressed in a bit finer of leathers. And he comes out and he goes, I understand you're looking to speak with me about some urgent activity related to the gnolls?
Yes, two things. Lots of dangerous gnolls aggressively attacking others on sight in a fortress. That way, a couple hours, we could probably give you a rough map to get you there. Secondly, we desperately need to speak to the counselor, as we are here on his request and the rest of the council's.
Very well. I can get you in touch with the mayor, who should be able to send a message off. He
That would
knows
be
who to
greatly
speak
appreciated.
to. And you said that this is urgent. They need to know tonight.
Yes, very urgent. We believe portal travel was involved, and so every moment counts.
Very well. Well,
And we wanted to let you know about the gnolls because we've probably upset them and they may come this way.
they've been passing through for a few days. Not unusual. Any of them that cause trouble in the town, they are quickly dealt with. But we will be on high alert for the next few evenings. Thank you for letting us know. And then he kind of pauses, like, waiting for you to give your name.
Mazeki Quant, at your service. And he'll do a bow.
Thank you, Mizeki. I am Captain Branch.
We are happy to inform you and keep the town safe.
All right. And he goes, well, if this is as urgent as you say, then Mayor Plaisat will be happy to hear from you this evening. Follow me. And he begins to lead you through the town. Eventually, you come to a residence where the guard captain stops, knocks on the door, and a few minutes later, a turtle appears at the door. Mayor Plysette, these folk have something important to tell the councilors. Given that they are not currently in town, you would be the best way to contact them. Would you be able to hear them out and send the message for them? The turtle looks up and down at all of you. Zamza told me that there would be more of you.
We have some colleagues securing room and board for the night.
Ah, that is where your fifth member is. Very well. Come in, come in.
Yes, and we have news of a sixth. Let us speak inside.
All right. Captain Branch, thank you. You may return to your post. At which point he bows politely and runs off back into the darkness towards the guardhouse.
Does he like run off at normal speed, or does he do the awesome Tabaxi hyperspeed?
It is fairly quick, so much faster than you have seen a normal person move.
Steph gets a kick out of that every time.
Oh yeah, it's probably really dark
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we're like pseudo out in the middle of nowhere. Like it's a town, but like
Well, and most of the inhabitants have dark
yeah,
vision,
they all have dark vision.
so there's
So
probably not a whole bunch of like night lights out.
so
wild.
Zamza told me that you would be coming. And eventually, he did not say when, because he did not know specifically whether you would come here or whether you would go to the knoll town of Kuche at the end of the tale. So,
Indeed, they did not ask us many questions before we departed.
so I understand that you did not ask them many questions either. You were just eager to go.
It was
Which,
quite a rush of events.
Yes. We were mutually questionless.
so, I understand there was quite a bit of chaos this year at the festival.
Indeed. Yes. We can inform you of that as we were there for first-hand events. But first, let us get to more pressing matters of these knolls. We have discovered a knoll fortress to the northeast and a portal within.
And he goes, interesting. The gnolls using magic. There's not
Well-
many of them that can.
More
They were-
specifically, yeah, we believe they were led by a tabaxi named Shadow,
Shadow.
and he was the one using the magic. Our concern is that he has been in the area coordinating attacks and organizing the gnolls to do something more sinister.
It appears that he has some sort of aggression towards one of the counselors and is looking to dispatch them and potentially replace them.
We have documents.
Interesting.
Or I would also recount Ito's details for the names of the knoll heads of the knolls that he knew.
Yeah, and the fact that we found Ito, by the by, since he knows there's 5 of us, now there's 6.
Yes. We found their prisoner. Yep, we gotta mention that. That's important.
It is unlikely that he's seeking to replace the counselor. Given how it works, killing the counselor would not necessarily guarantee him a spot in the council, as he would have to be elected by the majority of people.
Well, I have not met this shadow. This person does not strike me as the most in command of their facilities. What with conspiring with gnolls?
To actively kill his fellow people.
He's speaking like he doesn't mean like mental facilities. He's obviously a mage, but
Yeah.
he just probably doesn't think the same.
Yeah, if you're paying dudes to terrorize your own people, you probably have some things loose.
Well, it is definitely possible that he is looking to eliminate the counselors. But replacing them, although possible, if that is his goal, he has definitely got a few screws loose.
Can I tell where this turtle's loyalties lie?
Make an insight check.
Definitely do that. I'll try. I believe in myself.
Oh, I hope, because that was a bad roll. A total of 10.
I got a 10.
Well, I mean, wouldn't it be prudent for me to do one since I did live here?
I
Yes.
got a 23.
Except it's on the ball.
Okay, everyone is making insight checks.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're just talking. We're revealing information because
whopping
we need
8.
to get the communication open.
You
Mhm.
trust him too much, Sadzi. You're like, there couldn't be possibly anything wrong with him.
Yeah.
I've
So
lived
he
my whole
just
life.
doesn't want to be here
He's
right
been
now.
nice enough. I'm just trying to like keep my head down and not be noticed.
So Sadzi, you are familiar with the mayor. He has been the active mayor for the last 5 years. So you see that he looks out for the city of Bracknell, and that's where his interests lie. For Mizeki and Ore, you have a difficult time reading this turtle. But for Sefin, you can see that he's definitely got a genuine interest and curiosity in what you are talking about, but he doesn't show his emotion.
He hides in his shell like a turtle.
Since we're right in front of him, Stefan won't say anything. He doesn't see any danger here.
So, what specifically would you like me to relay to Zamza?
I would assume the full details that we've recounted.
As much of it as we can get, and if we're limited by something like message or something, then we'll put together a message.
Be as succinct as possible. I can only say so much in a single message.
We've uncovered that Shadow is orchestrating the
Hold on,
Knolls.
hold on. We can coordinate this. So Shadow coordinating the Knoll. So I've got Tabaxi Shadow.
So Tabaxi
As-
Shadow or Tabaxi named Shadow? What are you saying?
Tabaxi named Shadow.
We're figuring out. Hold on, which is a middle exercise. So if we've got to be succinct, it'll take a minute to figure out the actual message we're going to send.
Right.
So Tabaxi named Shadow leads Knolls. So we got Portal. So I've got Tabaxi named Shadow leads Knolls in Swamp. Portal to Unknown. Have papers trying to overthrow? Or no, he's not trying to overthrow. He's trying to kill, isn't he?
Has aggression against the counselor.
Okay, so we've got Tabaxi named Shadow leads Knolls in swamps. Portal to unknown. Have papers trying to overthrow.
Let's go with had prisoner trying to kill counselor.
So
Do we know he's trying to kill the counselor?
Yeah, that was in the papers. Like that was his goal, was to cause them to cause problems because he's upset at the counselor.
Okay. Anything else that you want to relay?
Would appreciate sending stone.
Yeah.
Until we get to level 5 and have message.
Or you could just put advise sending message, something like that.
Or advise better communications.
Can he send more than one message tonight, or is he limited to just one message tonight?
I like the sending stone. It's very specific.
Yeah, would appreciate sending stone.
Okay.
We'll tag that on the end. So we've got 20 words. All the best. XOXO stop. Looking forward to
I
hearing
have
from you.
23 words.
Okay.
Tabaxi
seems right.
named Shadow leads gnolls in swamps. Portal to unknown. Had prisoner. Trying to kill counselor. Advise better communications. Would appreciate sending stone. That leaves
Yeah.
you two. That leaves you 2 words.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk soon.
Got to be polite.
Yeah. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Await instructions.
Okay.
Or no, awaiting instructions is good. Let's do that. That makes
Await
sense.
instructions. Okay.
No,
From
awaiting.
from Bob, we had a baby eats the boy.
Yeah. We'll awaiting instructions is a good ending for us. Because
Okay.
that's what we're doing basically. We're gonna try and do some stuff, but we don't know what to do now.
All right.
Hey,
So
portal.
as you're telling this information to the mayor, he is writing it down and basically summarizing the important points that you want to. And then you see as he reaches into a small bag at his waist and pulls out a stone with a face on it. And he relays this message into it.
Steal his
Why
stone.
why wouldn't he tell us that he has a sending stone? Part of our message talks about that.
Well, yeah, but we can't have his, I assume. Like, that would be bad.
I know, but it'd be
Suddenly the
nice for him to
town can't.
mention, like, hey, I've got a sending stone. You can just talk to me.
Well, yeah, but that assumes we stay here too. Like, we need one, preferably
Right. And sending
Yeah.
stones are paired.
once a day. Yeah, and
Yeah.
paired.
I know how they work. I'm just saying.
So
We're telling him the message. He didn't even mention it.
Yeah.
He just like pulls one out and is like,
It's
and then sends
late,
it.
dude. He's supposed to be asleep, but we're supposed to be asleep. It's been a rough day for everyone.
Yos.
Seth doesn't like this mayor.
All right. And he
At this
relays
point, Ito
the
is asleep.
message that you gave. Tabaxi named Shadow, leading gnolls in swamps. Portal to unknown. Had prisoner. Trying to kill counselor. Advise better communications. Would appreciate sending stone. Awaiting instructions.
We really should have included that it was one of us. That would have been a good idea.
Well, it's coming from the mayor. I mean, I think he.
Yeah, they're like, why does the mayor want a sending stone? Hopefully, the council can induce, like, hey, this doesn't seem like something the mayor would send randomly.
Even if Marble doesn't figure it out, Agile probably will.
Well, this isn't going to Marble. This would be going to Zamza. So
Ah,
the
Wait, Zamza just sent it.
no.
Who's Zamza sending it to?
This is Plyzat. Plyzat is the Tortle Mayor. Zamza is the counselor of the wild. Marble is the ground counselor. So he is over everybody. So if you think of it like the US government of states and a president, Marble would be the president and Zamza would be a governor.
Or like prime minister and ministers.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that one probably makes more sense since they're a council.
Right.
It's not my president. I didn't elect him.
I didn't vote for you.
I mean, you may not have elected him directly, but your counselors did. So
Stefan at 100% did not elect this counselor because it's not his nation.
all right. And then Plyzat just kind of looks at you and goes, well, I don't know how long it will take for Zamza to get back. So, would you all like a glass of tea?
That would be lovely. It's been a very long several months.
Indeed. We were just getting ready to go have a delicious meal at, what was that restaurant's name, Mizaki?
The Colossal Duck Bar.
It was a big duck. Yeah, colossal duck. Thank you, Ori.
Yes, we've heard references that it is a most delicious establishment.
Yes, there is indeed good food at the Colossal Duck Bar. So, No, I must just have tea tonight. And he meanders off from the room that you're in, disappearing into the back of his home.
We're gonna go to the giant mallard.
I mean, you could.
So,
Uh,
does he have a nice home?
uh,
How are things here? We're gonna look at his
so
house.
it is not that nice of a home. It's very modest. So it's not run down, but it's not extravagant in any way.
How very turtle of him.
So as you're looking around, he comes back out and he goes, "Are you looking for anything in particular? Or just looking around to look around?"
Always interested in how others live. I come from Utra, and we live quite different than most.
Indeed, you would have to. Not much grows out there. I never understood why you people stayed.
Because the gods don't get to decide where we live. They can only make strong suggestions.
Well, their suggestion was strong, indeed. I
And
mean,
we were stronger.
well, that may be true, but you were not the strongest for what the gods did. Have you been down to the frozen wasteland?
He's gonna kind of look at his clearly like desert attire. I haven't had the chance, no.
Yes. Well, that is where I was once from. There are still a few who call that place home. But
Not something I envy.
I decided not to live there. My family
And
thought that we should stay because it is where we grew up, but it's not a suitable habitat for us anymore. They tell me that many, many generations ago, it was once a tropical paradise, one of the nicest places in all of Valade. But now it is cold, harsh, unforgiving.
I knew a woman like that once.
Just once.
It's been a short life so far.
Yes. Well, there's still time. At this point, you hear a tea kettle going off, and he goes, "Ah, the tea is ready. Let me go and pour you each a glass."
Thank you.
I'm assuming he's gonna get like a spell back or something. He's not. We're gonna wait here for 24 hours.
You have no idea, and he told you he had no idea how long it would take for
Yeah.
the sending stone to come back, and just
We'll
asked you
wait
if
for
you
a little
wanted
bit.
tea. Well,
Yeah.
you waited.
Honestly, after a really crappy hike through the swamp, some tea before we go off and have a ridiculous dinner sounds fantastic. So
All right. So a few minutes later, he returns carrying a tray with 7 mugs on it. And he goes, "I assume you told your friends, and they will be joining us?"
honestly, probably not. One was exhausted and the other has been imprisoned for quite some time, so he'll likely be going to sleep after a bath.
Ah, well, I guess I don't need all of these. And he puts 2 of them back and then sets them down, the rest of them down in a table. Well, and you can see inside each of the mugs is some fresh leaves that he's kind of ground up, and he takes the water from the kettle and begins to pour it into each of the cups.
Seth will, once we get the cups, kind of like sniff the tea, just the aroma of it.
So it's unfamiliar to you. It's not something that you would be familiar with, given that you grew up in the mountains, underneath the mountains. However, for Sadzi, you are quite familiar with this smell.
Does Mizeki possibly recognize it as an import?
It does get imported and passes through Utra quite frequently.
Is there anything particularly notable about the smell, or is it just this is very common here?
It is very common there. So it is basically the most common tea in the wild.
The dice say that Mizeki's not the hugest fan of it, but he doesn't hate it. And he would be very polite.
So
Ori will have one sip. If he does not get a memory, he's just going to say thank you and then set it down.
it does not trigger any particular memory.
I'm just imagining him like a small cat, just a little tiny tongue out. No, I'm good.
It's just the most dainty of sips and then thank you and then sets down the cup.
The tiniest of blips.
So,
He goes,
barring anything else special, Mizeki's going to enjoy his cup of tea for a little bit and relax, and then look to the others and do the thing where you kind of slap your legs and go, well, we should probably head back for food.
And he goes, the mayor turns and goes, all right, well, when I hear back, how shall I find you?
I believe we are staying at the
Something with a
I had it written
mouse.
down here. Swift
It's
Mouse
quick.
Inn.
And if we plan to leave again, we will most likely notify someone to let you know if we can't find you immediately.
Very well, I will send for you in the morning, whether I have heard or from Zamza or not.
Excellent.
Thank you. Very much obliged.
All
Then we
right.
make our way across town to this place to eat. Actually, we probably would go pick up Allendale.
Yeah, so Elandiel and Ito, you have made your way to the Swift Mouse Inn to secure rooms for the evening. It's a fairly bustling inn with a few people passing through. Mostly staying in this inn right now are gnolls.
Cool. I want a room with a stout door, and a really nice chair. Um, and that is the big thing he wants. And Elendil will mingle, and offer to do portraits for people for the price of whatever the going rate of paper is.
Okay.
Ito is looking for the single nicest bed this establishment has.
The single nicest bed that the establishment has. Okay. All
Apparently,
right.
the rest of us don't get to sleep because we sent these two up to find us rooms.
And I'll let him know that I'll need another
3 rooms?
two. I'll tell 2 rooms that have multi beds in them,
All right. So you're getting 2 rooms with multi beds in them,
and I'll get one for myself.
and then 2 rooms with 1 bed in them each that are super nice beds.
Yep.
Okay.
Y'all are not allowed to be in charge of this in the future.
All right.
Clearly.
So the nicest rooms in here cost 4 gold per night.
Okay.
And
Yeah, Ito pays with 4 absolutely ancient gold coins that are not minted anywhere anyone would be like familiar with.
so as you hand over these gold coins, the innkeeper just kind of looks at them and goes, "What are these?"
They are gold pieces. I've heard that this is how people pay for things here.
They go, "These are not gold pieces I recognize. The
Oh,
symbols."
Oh, yes. These are from the old Umberwall ruins. They probably haven't been minted in hundreds of years now, and were likely sitting around for 100 or so before that.
Interesting. And he turns his back to you after snatching the coins and pulls out a scale and sets it up on the counter behind and puts the coins on one side and starts weighing it out. After about a minute, he turns back and goes, "Well, they're the right size, so I'm sure I can take these. It'll be fine.
Thank
But
you, thank you.
you'll probably get lots of questions. I would suggest you take these to Mint as soon as you can and have them traded in. They'll melt these down and print, mint new coins for you.
Is that
That,
why mint is called mint? Is because it's the biggest mint?
yes, indeed.
You're part of
Uh,
Soleil's lucky 10,000.
So,
Thank you, thank you. I will do that eventually. So where is this room with the best bed you have? Truly, I am very tired.
um, well, it
Yeah.
is on our top floor. And so if you head up to the stairs, there are 2 doors on our 4th floor. You'll want the one on the left, and then the innkeeper turns to Alondiel and goes, "And you'll take the one on the right."
Wonderful, thank you.
Now,
And for the other 2 rooms,
uh,
decent accommodations, if possible.
yes, for multiple beds, it will be 8 silver pieces per person staying in the room.
Okay. Do quick math. I'm like, okay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yep, okay. We can do that. Like, well, we got 5 people. They can split up the rooms how they want. 8. That should be, what, 40 silver? Maths?
Well, you don't have to pay for yourself because you already did.
Oh, yep.
So 32 silver.
And I reach into the pocket and I say, is food included?
Food is not included. We don't typically serve a lot of food here. We have some meals, but most go get their meals at one of the nearby bars. We are primarily just a inn where you may rest for the evening.
Sounds good. You know what? What is it a tabaxi owner?
So yes, this is a tabaxi that you have been chatting up.
32 silver. Yeah, that's 3 gold and 2 silver. Yeah, I'll give him 4 gold and say, take care of the other guys. Give them the best that you can.
Okay.
Well, I'll overpay a little bit for them to see if I can
And
get them.
he just kind of leans over the counter and goes, "And who are the others?"
The others are our friends. We're quite an eclectic group. We have a centaur, a dwarf, a tabaxi, and a forged.
And none of them have names.
The dwarf goes by Sephin.
All right. So if I see a dwarf with a forged, a tabaxi, and a centaur, I should ask his name. And if his name is Sephin, you want me to take care of him.
Give him top tier service. Take care of him in a good way, not a bad way.
Take him out
Oops.
to dinner.
Elendil accidentally orders an assassination on the rest of the party.
Give him like proper turn down service on the beds, like mints on the pillows. Do you guys do that down here? Just like Good stuff.
If he accidentally called out like a hitman for 4 gold, I'm gonna be concerned.
Times are tough. Okay.
I mean, hey, that's a really good rate, though. I'd be like, do you do group discounts?
It's the wild. Anything goes here. Who knows what could happen?
I don't think it's like a
That-
lawless
well,
anarchy
well.
land.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
He
That
goes,
is a going
wild,
price.
wild.
all right, well, sir, I will make sure they get the best of service.
Thank you. And I'll go drop my stuff off in the room because carrying stuff all day is exhausting. And I'll bring my sketch pad down and I'll start sitting in a corner, draw the room, and try and schmooze some gnolls with tempting art of characters of themselves and like any poses, and just try and like listen in on if they're talking in gnoll or in common. If there's anything I can pick up from just the communication in the room.
Okay, so you enter the room to drop off your bag, and it is a fairly large room, spanning basically the entire length of the building on one side. You see off in the northwest corner of the room is a large bath, and in the center is the largest bed that you have ever seen in your life.
And it's in the shape of a heart.
It's got 4 posters and curtains going around to give it some privacy.
I flop down and I just lay and just enjoy the comfort. And I delay going off. Like, I'll get downstairs eventually.
Alright.
After resting on the bed for probably a good like 20 minutes, I'll then get in the tub and probably soak till I'm a prune.
So on the other side of the room from the bath, there is a large workstation with desks and workbenches and all sorts of different sets of tools and things that one might need to work on just about anything. You definitely went all out on these rooms. And Ito, this would be the same for you, except instead of the red color scheme, you have a purple color scheme in your room.
Ito does a slight double take because he's not used to many things being in purple, but he is very quick to just completely collapse on the and he's asleep within seconds.
All right. So, after spending your 20 minutes, you eventually make your way downstairs. And as you sit down and begin to pull out your paper and start drawing and listening in on the gnolls, you see a ragtag bunch of people enter the inn. The 4 of you arrive.
Ragtag seems kind of rude, but sure.
Oh,
We've been prestidigitated.
Yeah.
Who you calling ragtag?
So, I mean, step 1, look for threats, which there don't seem to be any. Step 2, immediately identify if people we know are in the area and go up to them. Find out how do we get our room.
Okay, well, looking around the area here, there are a lot of gnolls just kind of sitting around in the waiting area. As you continue looking around, you see starting to sketch on some paper off in one of the corners is Alandiel. You see no sign of Ito.
Sorry, pausing real quick. Isn't this a time discrepancy? Isn't Alandiel up in his room? Or did he go up, bathe, get done, and then come back and I missed it?
Yeah, he did that.
Yep.
He
So
wanted to
I-
get clean first.
my
And
bad.
I took a nice bit to clean off, to relax while you guys were off doing your thing.
having tea with the mayor.
Took a little bit of self-care time in the bath, getting all nice and clean, smelling good again, got that swamp gunk off.
Cool. Well, we will go over to Alandiel then. Ah, my friend, did you procure rooms for us?
I have. was wondering what was taking you guys so long. Just go right over there to the keeper. Stefan, I told him that they'd have the rooms waiting in your name, and they'll be able to get you set up. Paid a little extra for you guys to get some good treatment.
Stefan will put his hand on Elendil's shoulder and say, "Thank you," and then he'll walk over to the front and get the room set up.
Ore will ask Elandiel if he can go through the books that were put in that bag. I'd very much like to read through more information on Fertile's blessing.
I don't know what all the books are. Probably not here. If you want to look at it up top, you can in the room.
We should likely coordinate in the morning and review the available information, but we can provide you the collection of books for now.
Well, I only need to rest for 6 hours in the evening. I would like to use some of the time before then to read up as much as I can.
Yeah, we can get you the books.
Very good.
Elendil, we were going to eat dinner. Would you like to join us?
That would be great. They don't have the largest variety here. Great beds though. So yeah, I'm totally down for dinner.
And where is Ito?
I'll go check on his room. He went in, shut the door, and haven't heard a peep. Sounded like somebody cutting some wood, but I'm not sure.
I mean, I imagine he's sleeping, because sleeping in a cage is horrible.
And again, can't iterate enough. Great beds.
I look forward to it after filling our bellies.
All right.
Yeah, so go get your keys, stuff for your rooms. I'll let you divvy up who's sharing with who. Got 2 rooms though for you guys, so
I do not require a bed. Is it okay if I were to rest in your room while I go through those books?
as long as you're not too loud. I mean, I'm not. I'm a very light rester myself, so yeah, we can definitely take a look at the books while the others are still getting their sleep in.
Is there
Perhaps
perchance a desk, someplace to set the books up?
Dude, best desk ever. Like, you need any new tools to fix anything that got damaged or loose in that swamp? They got stuff up there you can patch yourself up to.
Ore kind of perks up a little bit when you say tools. He's like, "Oh, I'm very excited for those."
Mizeki doesn't care anymore. He's going to go get their keys with Stefan
yeah.
so that they
Perhaps
can go eat.
if Ore and Stefan will say this with Mizeki as they go towards the front desk to get the keys. Mizeki, perhaps you should have your own room. You require more space than Sadzi or I.
He'll shrug. Doesn't bother me either way. Slept on boats often enough.
Steph shrugs too. This is the equivalent of like, where do you want to go to lunch? I don't know. Because Steph is like, he doesn't really mind either.
Mizeki will accept
anything is fine with me.
if Seven doesn't want it. Mizeki will take it because he might find a friend.
You know, I could argue that it would probably be wise for us to avoid mixed gender sleeping rooms, but fine.
You're
I
not
mean,
here.
You could argue that, and Steph would probably be like, okay.
I'd argue with Mizeki more likely.
Is there an issue with mixed gender sleeping arrangements?
If you're a child, sure.
It's just it isn't a, it looks improper.
I
So does returning
apologize.
to town covered in mud and blood. We're adventurers. Proper doesn't matter.
If it makes you uncomfortable, Sadzi, I will room with Mizeki or one of the others.
I vote that Sadzi sleeps in Elendil's room.
This does not solve the problem, Mizeki.
Elandiel already said he's a light sleeper, and he's already got Ore in there.
Or I can sit in the corner.
No.
I like how
See
nobody's
why
even
that would be an
contemplating.
issue.
Nobody's even contemplating Ito's room at this
We're not
point.
waking up the barbarian to take his
Yeah,
room.
we don't know you as well either. We've
Fighter.
been
Yeah, you're
traveling by
some
boat
dude.
together
You
for
could kill
weeks.
us.
Why don't
Either
the two of
Elandiel or myself would require a bed if it would make you feel comfortable to stay in there. I do not have assigned gender.
How
Well-
about I will sleep in the same room as Elandiel and Ore, and both Sadzi and Mizeki can have their own rooms.
That works for me.
That's very noble of you.
Taking Elandiel's room.
I
Noble.
only got one bed in my room, guys.
It's very big
Um,
though.
You don't know that.
You
I
just
said
said it
it's a-
was the
I
best
said
bed.
it's a great bed, yeah, and I want to use it. I paid for your guys' beds. If you
Well,
want
wait.
to,
Why don't we have Mizeki in Elandiel's room, since Mizeki probably can't use a regular bed as well?
That's not true at all. That's specious also.
Species.
Horses can totally sleep on bed. They lay down in the field all the time.
Have you ever seen a horse sleep and try to get up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it works
It's
fine.
hilarious.
They do. Yeah, it does. But that's a private matter in the morning.
And wouldn't
if
it be
you want
better
to
for
pay
you to
for
be with?
your own room, the guy said they're 8 silver. So
Mizeki will pay for an extra room. 'Cause
Problem solved.
it's all our
us-
money, and Elandiel spent a bunch of it on himself. So
Let
I
us
spent
go
equal
eat.
amounts on you guys, just across all of you.
Uh-huh.
yeah, Mizeki
Equal,
will
but
pay
some
for
are
an
more
extra
equal
room
than
for
others.
himself. We can use the spare room with the extra bed for equipment storage.
Okay. So you guys get a third room.
Yep.
So each of those smaller rooms has 2 smaller beds in them.
We need a bigger room.
So
I
and
think we have all the big rooms now.
that's really all that they have.
Fair enough. We'll just take
We're
one.
buying out the whole inn.
I mean, that's 5 rooms. That's a pretty big place. So
That's 5 rooms that you guys have purchased. There's a lot of gnolls still in
well,
this
yeah,
place.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the place is full up, and we just bought 5. So that's got to be.
Hey, being an inn runner in an adventuring place is probably good money.
Yeah.
It's profitable.
Someday
That's for
I
sure.
would love to do a campaign where that's all you do.
Where you
you're
just
like-
running in.
The innkeeper. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, the logistics
Dinner
of
time.
sleeping, I did not expect to take that long. So,
These things are important, okay?
yeah. All
Also,
right.
Stefan's gonna keep all the junk in his room, and then we'll use his magic to lock the door.
Yeah. Because I can do that. Actually, I can't do that till we wake up.
You can't do that. Well, in the future, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you guys head to the Colossal Duck. Do you go get Ito, or do you just leave him to himself?
Elandiel said he was going to check on him.
I'll knock on the door and say, "Hey, we're gonna go get food," and see if he responds. I won't open it. I'll just knock on the door. I'm like, Ito, we're getting food. You want to come?
Upon knocking on the door, you probably realize the fact that he was tired enough after those stairs and everything else, he didn't actually close it properly. He just sort of pushed it in the general direction, which might explain why you can hear his snoring in your room.
I'll push in a little bit, and I'm assuming he's passed out cold on the bed, and then I'll gently and quietly shut the door, and go back downstairs.
I would have followed Elandiel upstairs, and I will opt out of dinner this evening. Do you mind if I go through those books?
Were you asking Elandiel? Or
Yeah, didn't Elandiel
Yeah.
have the bag with all the books in it?
I got a bag with a bunch of gold in it, and
Oh,
some
I thought we put all the
art
books
and
in
other
that
stuff.
bag.
the books were on
In the chest,
Mizeki.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few of
Mizeki
the
would've
books
given it
went
to you.
into the bag, but
Some of them are in the bag, but you could get the ones that went into the bag because not all of them
Yeah.
fit in the
Yeah,
chest.
I'll take the 2 books out of the bag, and then we're not going to take all the I'm assuming we're dropping off. They said they're dropping off all the stuff, so if you want to just, I guess, hang out and watch the stuff while we go eat.
I don't have an issue with that.
and it sounds like they were dropping
Cool.
that off in Sephin's room.
In the
Yeah.
future,
Yeah. Okay.
we'll probably drop it off in Elondiel's room this time.
Yeah.
Since
It's like,
Rory's gonna
when
be
you're
there.
a big group at a hotel and everyone has their own rooms, you kind of just like exchange stuff. That's what we're doing. And the stuff happens to be in Elandiel's room right now.
Okay.
I got space. You can put that trunk down. I don't care.
Yeah, Ore will spend the evening until you guys get back, just going through the books and maybe even looking at that art piece about the temple and just kind of he's going to try and do some research on that Fertle's blessing with what we acquired.
All right. So, you all head over to the Colossal Duck Inn where you get your meals. And Ore, you stay behind to look through the books.
And Ito is dead to the world.
And Ito is dead. You heard it here first, folks. Ito is dead. Sephin said so.
The idiom, not the literal.
It's too late.
Well, hope you have a backup character prepared.
All right.
You die in your sleep.
And so
It's too
Ito is
comfortable.
passed out in his bed, sleeping. Ore is reading the book, and the rest of you go to the Colossal Duck Bar and get a good meal. How good depends on how much you want to pay. There are prices from 1 silver for just your basic food, all the way up to 2 gold a plate of very fancy foods with an assortment of different fish and sushi that are provided.
Steph has had very few opportunities to eat seafood, and from the ocean, that is, not from a lake. And also, this is gonna be one of the last times we have to have a nice meal. So I'll go for a 1 silver, 1 gold platter.
Okay. So yeah, just mark that off, and you guys can all enjoy the
Yeah.
delicious foods that you get.
Mizeki's gonna go in with Sephin and kind of do like a shared thing and get whatever Sephin doesn't, so that they kind of have all the really nice stuff.
I just want a lot of meat. Rare, if possible.
I mean, a lot of it is sushi, so it's a lot of it
Sushi's
is
pretty rare.
raw. So,
Fair.
but you can definitely order some more raw dishes as well. There's not a lot of red meat served in this place. It is mostly seafood. So if you're looking for raw red meat, that's going to be a bit tougher to find here.
Okay. Yeah, whatever's gonna get me the most meat and protein type stuff.
Yeah, go for one of the big old seafood platters. So,
With the guys, sure, I can do that.
all right. So you're each spending a gold, or you're spending 1 gold and sharing it?
I think we're doing like family style. Yeah, like
Yeah,
everyone's
we're
spending a
3
gold and
gold total
sharing
each and a
platters.
gold. Yeah, we're gonna get
Okay.
the things that we don't get, so we all get to try stuff.
Okay.
We're a family now.
I just want
Shareable.
to say as an aside, I love how detailed our food logistics are. This is very important. Like,
Right.
These are the things that matter. Okay, the adventuring's fine
Food
and
is
all,
important.
but sleep and food are you do those a lot of your life, and they're important to do right.
All right. What
Also,
about you, Alondiel?
If they don't mind, I'll go in with the gold a piece thing.
Okay.
Elondiel's not allowed to have good food. We
I'm
give
gonna
him the
stick to lighter foods, and I'll let them have the more traditionally hearty things.
Okay.
Mizeki will ask for when they're at the end if he can have a little like container of just a little tiny bit of each thing. He has a friend who likes to taste things but doesn't eat much.
They go. We can make another platter for you to go if you want to pay the money for it. Otherwise, you should have saved
take
a
a tiny
bite.
bit off of each of mine, or I can put them into a container on the side. He literally will eat like a handful of food in a year.
Gross. Well,
but he likes to taste things. Worst case, Mizeki will just take the food off of a little bit off of each thing for himself
yeah,
and put it on a plate.
that's probably going to be the best way to go about it if you don't want to pay anything extra.
Let's do that.
So,
We should bring food back for Ito.
I feel like Ito's not going to be awake until the morning, and then we can just come out and get a really good breakfast.
True.
What we
as
should
we
really do is distribute the coin that Ellen has.
good, indeed.
Not at the restaurant.
all
Oh,
right.
oh,
We
we
just
can't,
bust
we
out
can't
100
distribute the
gold.
coin while we can't distribute the coin while Ito is present. No.
All right.
We don't know you.
Well, in any case, I have 16 copper left, so if you could pass a couple silver this way, that'd be great. Just later.
Shouldn't you have more than that? We got
I-
like we divvied out like 50 gold each or something like that a
You
couple
did.
episodes ago.
I didn't go with your counselor, remember?
Oh yeah.
No, Sadsy should have gotten 100 gold when we were in where did we go? Mint? When we went shopping.
Yeah, you got the money to shop with.
Yeah.
And I spent, I think, all of it.
Yeah, I spent most of mine too.
It's
Same
for
here.
We
nothing.
can divvy up when we get back to the room for the evening.
All right. Ore,
As we Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
you are reading the book. As you are studying, there is a knock at the door.
Who is it?
Housekeeping.
It's Plazat, the mayor. I was told I could find you here.
Yes, and I will go answer the door for him.
All right, and there you see the turtle, and he goes, Zamza said thank you for the information, and then relayed to give you, for the time being, my sending stone, and he will replace mine when he returns. And he hands you the sending stone. And he goes, this can be used once a day to send a message to Zamza. Well, to whoever holds the other end of this, which is currently Zamza. But if anything
Alrighty.
happens to him and someone takes it, then you'd be sending it to whoever that is. And he just kind of goes on this ramble, like, about how it works.
We
Not
should
really
ask him about magic item shops in the city.
talking about anything specific.
The entire time he's talking, Ore is just kind of nodding up and down, like 2 fingers on the stone, like ready to pull it away from his hand the moment he lets it go. Once he finishes, just, thank you so much. This is most gracious of you. We will put it to good use and not abuse it in any way. Is there anything else I can do for you?
No. I think you have done enough. Captain Branch has informed me of the gnolls and what they are doing to take extra precaution. So you have done us a great deed.
I would suggest if you have the opportunity, perhaps the City Watch should put together a group to go survey or possibly stake out that facility in case any of the Shadow or his allies return.
He goes, I don't know that I can authorize that. It's far enough outside the city that it is beyond our jurisdiction. But you are not employed by me in the city, so maybe you would like to do such?
I would have to discuss it with my allies. We may have additional services to render, but I will inform you of what we decide, potentially tomorrow.
Very well. I should get back home and get some rest.
Thank you again for the sending stone, and also thank you for the tea earlier. It was lovely. Have a
I
good evening.
noticed you didn't drink much.
I do not require sustenance, but I have garnered a certain pleasure from tasting.
Ah, well. Very well.
I did not
And
mean any disrespect. It was quite delicious.
and he goes, it's all right. And he turns and leaves, heading down the stairs.
I return back to the room, set the stone in my bag, and then go back to reading about Fertle's Blessing.
Okay.
I'm also going to get that art piece out and kind of set it up. As I read through it, I'm going to kind of switch back and investigate the painting, and then kind of look for details that might complement any elements that I see in the painting: landscape, geography, that type of thing.
Okay. So as you read the description about the temple that the Fertile Blessing is said to look like from that book, it is an exact match for the details of the painting. So the question is, at this point, did the artist make this painting from seeing it or from the description given in the book?
Or is it a conspiracy?
But
Can I determine about how old the painting is?
make an investigation check. And are you proficient with painter's tools?
I am not perfect with painter's tools,
Okay.
but I would assume somewhat of the time I spent at the library helping with curation might inform a little bit of looking at this.
Yeah. So yeah, just make an investigation check.
You do know somebody who's proficient with painter's tools.
That is my second natural one on things I know.
All right.
Reliving college right now.
It's a very, very nice painting. You look at the details, but you don't know a lot about art. It's not one of your prime things that you like to study. You find yourself more studying the stars and enjoying that. And so you're not sure much about the details of paintings and really how to tell how old they are.
Speaking of, um, would have definitely given him the telescope so that he can look up at the stars later. Made sure that he got it specifically, because otherwise it's just going to be in the pile of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's still sitting in the pile of stuff. I think the main attention I kind of wanted to look into was trying to decipher where we can find the Fertle's Blessing, potentially.
hmm So in the book, it doesn't really give a precise location. It refers to the massive swamp, which you only assume to be the wild, and that those who travel throughout the swamp may occasionally stumble upon it, but there is a note that's handwritten into the book that says, no one that has gone looking has ever reported that they found it.
Because they wanted to keep it to themselves.
Okay, that's cryptic. Any other details about Fertle's Blessing that I would deem interesting?
Um, so it is stated that it is a temple to Agricola and Kuldava, who are a married uh, pair of divines and are over essentially plant life and wildlife is what their domain is.
Would I have any information on them as divines prior to reading this? As a druid?
As a druid, you may know a little bit, but given again that your focus is on the stars, you know more about Thelia, the Star Mother, than about these two particular. But go ahead and make a religion check.
It's better than a 1-6.
So they're names that you've come across. And you're just familiar enough with them to know that they are a husband and wife couple, and that no one worships one of them. They always worship the pair of them.
Got it. Okay. Any details on how old the temple is?
So according to the book, the first mention of the fertile blessing happened in, let me pull up my timeline here. Happened in the age of exploration, which would approximately be 4,000 years ago from the
Right.
current age.
So a bit more than a weekend or two.
Yeah. The last mention of it being easily found was during the Age of Folly, which would be approximately 2,000 years ago at this point.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Is there any information on what it is that we might find that would help nature, restore nature?
So there's nothing specific there because it's all referred to as legend, and no one knows specifically what happens. It's believed, given that they are the god and goddess of plant life and agriculture, or that they will bestow their blessing on a particular plant that is brought to them, and then when that plant is then taken and planted somewhere else, that it will cause a chain reaction of their blessing to go out from that area.
Do I discern from that information that would work on seeds, or does it specifically have to be like a sprouted plant?
There are conflicting stories within the legends that it works on seeds and that it doesn't. And the whole idea is that you have to bring something from the land that you want blessed to the temple and then return it after you've received the blessing.
Very, very interesting. Okay.
Need to steal a tree. Sounds like.
So,
What you need to do is go to like a garden supply store and get you a packet of seeds.
around this time, the four of you who are out eating would return to the inn. Alondiel, you would return to your room to see Ore sitting at the desk with his nose in a book.
Find anything good in there?
I have found quite a lot of information that leads me to believe there's a possibility. Also, Blasio, that is his name, right?
Um,
The mayor.
it is Plazat.
Plazat.
Who?
Plazat arrived, the mayor. Oh,
Oh,
you were
okay.
not with us. I apologize. He sent us a sending stone so we'd be able to contact Samza. I will inform everyone else in the morning. How was the dinner?
Oh, the dinner was lovely. I believe. Did we end up getting the plate of extra food?
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe Mizeki set aside a portion of his meal.
we just stole.
Mazeki got some extra food for you.
He
You
would
should
have.
be
He would have
bringing
given it
up.
to Ellendale probably to take.
Okay. I'll hand over the doggy bag. Actually, I guess it'd be a kitty bag in this town.
I wouldn't guess either of those, given the knolls and all. Let's not. The bag.
I give him the bag of food.
A kitty bag? Excuse you.
Well, like it's a doggy bag and it's a cat town, so a kitty bag.
It's not a cat town. The mayor's a turtle.
Catnip.
It's just a majority of tabaxi.
Thank you
Anyways,
very much.
they have
This was
food.
very thoughtful. I appreciate that. And he'll set it down and then start ever so slightly just tasting one of each thing that's left in there while he's continuing to read.
Find out anything about that painting?
From my research, it is almost identical to the description of Fertle's blessing. Quite possibly, this was painted firsthand.
Oh, that sounds cool. Let me take a better look at that. And I want to see like what type, like the quality of the painting. What can I determine using my painter's knowledge
Okay.
about what I can derive from it, like age, quality, if it's, yeah.
Okay. So since you are trained in painter supplies, go ahead and make an investigation check at advantage to look over the painting.
That would be a 16.
Okay. So looking it over, you can tell that it is fairly fine work. You'd estimate that it is maybe 3 years old, given its quality, and knowing that you found it in a chest at the bottom of it. So it was painted fairly recently.
Yeah, like the paint's dry, the canvas is holding up really well considering the swamp that we found it in. This looks like it's a newer-ish painting. Probably, if I was to guess, about 3 years old.
We're playing D&D Antiques Roadshow. I can't get that image out of my head.
I like it.
He looks. It looks like for they used a couple different brushes, and I go into like the whole his like technique breakdown for Ore about like you could see here where they did some like light shading by doing some blending techniques. Over here, you can see in the sky they were using a wider bristle brush. Just give them the whole spiel.
And then at the end, you estimate that it is worth about 50 gold.
We could probably sell this thing for about 50 gold, probably, if we find the right collector.
Or I
Should
was
be here
hanging on
today.
every word that you said describing this. That is a wonderful assessment. I wish I was knowledgeable about it as you are. Thank you for those details. I wonder if it's possible if we were able to return to that stronghold and determine where this painting was originally acquired from.
Did as part of my investigation, did I notice any like signature or initials that a painter might have left to have marked the work?
There is initials in the bottom corner, and the initials are AS. and that is not anybody that you are familiar with.
There's the initials here. It looks like the artist signed their work, but with just initials, I can't really give you any more than that.
No, that is good information as well. Thank you.
Any of your books that you're reading, like, have a author with initials AS?
He instantly looks back through like the title page looking for any kind of author details.
So the author, I guess I got to come up with an author of these books now. Thanks.
Only if one matches AS.
No, it does not match AS. So this one was written by Corcus Foghair.
And what is the copyright date on that book?
So the copyright date on that book is, let me grab my timeline again.
I'm also looking for the city of printing and any possible press agencies that would have printed this.
All right. So it is got the date of the 800th year in the Age of Kings, and that it was printed in the city of Drusus.
It's kind of joking, but thanks for the extra details.
We've got a 25% chance to successfully teleport to where this painting is. Let's do it.
Do you have the teleport spell?
We can find someone who does. It's very important.
That is very possible. That is that
We do have
if we
money.
find somebody who does have that.
Yes.
We should
Teleport to
strictly
a
Pay him on
painting.
to
this
teleport
painting.
us.
Is the painting on a frame or is it rolled up?
So it is on a frame. So it's stretched canvas over a wooden frame.
Would it be feasible to take it off the frame and roll it up?
Yeah. I mean, Alondiel could probably do that without damaging it.
Alondio, would you be capable of being cautious enough to deframe this painting so it could possibly be rolled, taken with us?
Ooh, I always hate taking a painting out of a good frame, but that could be helpful. I can give it a try.
Okay. So, if you would like to, go ahead and give me a dexterity check with your proficiency bonus for painter's supplies.
Oh man, 7.
Okay. So, as you pull out your tools and you begin working on it, as you go to release,
Since there's like that super sweet workstation, can I have advantage on that roll?
you want to use their tools instead of yours?
Do they have good painted tools?
They've got all sorts of tools. Any set of tools you could possibly need, they have here. So the question is, do you prefer your tools over random tools that are in an inn?
I would prefer mine. I just didn't know if like they had any like nicer specialized stuff.
Like their tools are definitely very, very nice, but people sometimes have personal preference, so I thought I'd check.
Well, I guess for taking a painting out of a frame, I'd probably need to use their tools. I didn't bring a like proper canvas cutting knife
Okay.
with me. I've got my creating painting supplies, not tools for destroying one gently.
Okay.
Could I assist with tinkerer's tools?
Yeah, for helping helping take the frame apart.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
allow that. So,
Assuming we're being as cautious as we possibly could with
right.
not ruining the painting.
So next time, establish this before we roll.
Yes.
So yes, because you are now having Ore assist you and you're using the extra specialized set of tools, you may roll this with advantage.
12, slightly better.
So you take a bit of effort, Art, and as you go to release it from the frame, you do leave a small cut in it, devaluing the painting a bit. But for the most part, you are able to get it off and rolled up. You estimate that maybe now with the damage to it, you'll only be able to get about 20 gold from it.
We've got mending. I think Satsi took mending.
I'll get it after I sleep.
Nice. Jess, unrelated. Mazeki would definitely be down for finding someone to share his room because he has a spare bed and all.
Who are you looking to share your room with? There's plenty of gnolls downstairs.
Preferably not a gnoll,
Okay.
but he's not super picky.
So I mean, there's not a lot of other people here besides gnolls. And your group, but you're able to find a halfling that is in town and visiting.
Nice.
His name is Finzen Leafsong.
Finzen Leafsong. That's a cool name.
Yeah. And on his back, he has a fairly long staff that you notice has a hollow center, and there are several finger holds at one end.
Is he a musician?
So he is. In addition, though, that can be used as a quarterstaff.
He's a musician magic person. Mazeki is very impressed. Magic and music are two things he greatly appreciates and can't particularly do well himself.
Okay.
Does Finzen have a panther friend?
Finzen does not have a panther.
Oh, okay.
It's copyright reasons.
A
So yeah,
cat with
Mazeki
wings?
will probably stay up quite a while and talk to Finzen. Unless anyone in the group needs anything in particular from him.
No.
He will also happily interact with gnolls. He doesn't have any problem with them. He very much comes from the perspective of people are assholes, not peoples. So he doesn't have anything against these gnolls, even though they were fighting them earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I almost assumed you'd prefer a gnoll so that you could talk to them. But, you know, to each their own.
They're furry and not as there's it's weird. Too much fur. You have to shake everything out afterwards.
Seth will get ready to go to sleep, but has his alarm spell triggered at all in the past few hours?
Alarm only alerts you if you're within 1 mile, and you have gone
So
further away from that than that.
Darn. Foiled. On the bright side, though, within a little while, no one showed up. So
Yes, in the time it took you to travel 1 mile, nobody showed up.
Oh, good. It only lasts 8 hours too, so I won't be there when we get back within 1 mile of it. So bummer.
All right. So, is
we
there
should have made it audible.
anything else that you would like to do this evening?
Sleep.
Just
All
rest.
right.
Yeah.
Well, then you may all take your long rest, which will
Woo.
officially level you up.
Hooray!
And you
Well,
get
you're
all of
doing
your
it.
level 3 abilities now.
And aside, I dislike the spell slot progression. How it's like 1 and then 3 usually. Like, why not just do 2 per level? But anyway.
I don't know.
there's math reasons behind that.
All right. So,
Math.
in the morning, you all awake in your different rooms. Mizeki, you awaken to the sound of music
Yay!
being
Is it any-
played very softly. What were you about to say?
Is it anything he might recognize, or is it new to him entirely?
Given that you are from Utra, which is a popular hub, it is music that you would have heard before. It is native to the far north of Haptharini, in a small town called Hamlet.
Mizeki will just enjoy and appreciate the music, and as soon as it's over, he will clap softly. It takes him a while to wake up, so
And Finzen will turn and go, "Well, thank you for sharing your room with me. I
thank you for sharing your music.
hope that you find yourself well."
And you as well in all your travels.
So, breakfast. Is that on the agenda? I know someone said they'd want to get it for Ito.
Yeah, we are definitely getting breakfast. We gotta like debrief ourselves.
We also have to wake Ito up and make sure that he's alive.
I have a plan for that.
Oh, believe me, there is no question of whether Ito is alive because he is probably generating a few noise complaints with his snoring.
I'm gonna put a mage hand in his mouth and poke him with it to wake him up.
Did you say a mage hand?
Yes,
Oh yeah, because you
invisible.
just got level 3.
Yes. Just kind of stick it in his mouth and wake him up with it. Up to 10 pounds of force, I can poke him in the throat. Doesn't do any damage,
Oh
but
my
it can
god!
annoy you.
Oh my god!
I'm not gonna touch him. He's a barbarian. Who knows what he'll do?
You never have been good at waking people gently.
Well, especially after having been tortured for who knows how long.
Yeah, like he could
Not something
snap
you want
him.
to touch to wake up.
Yeah.
I think
maybe
depending on when you go to wake him up, he's probably already awake because, like, as much as he wants to have a very deep and long sleep, he's probably started to lose his usual ability to do that. So he probably already got up.
There's also a nice large bath in your room if you wanted to clean yourself.
Oh yes, he's definitely taking advantage of the bath by the time anyone comes to check on him.
Right. So, Mizeki, you're the one going to check on him to cast Mage Hand to wake him up.
Yeah. I mean, if it sounds like he's up, he'll just open the door from the other side.
Yeah, he's definitely up. So yeah, you're able to use the Mage Hand to unlock the door and open it up, and you come inside to see, relaxing in a bath large enough to fit you comfortably, Ito.
Morning. Ready for some food?
Oh, food, yes, I am quite starving. Yes, immediately if that is possible. And he's just
Or
going
I,
to start getting out of the bath immediately.
Or he would have left a portion of the sampler that was brought back to him for you for this morning. So once he sees you in the hall, he's going to give that to you.
So
I
some
don't
raw
want it.
fish that has been sitting out all
Like,
night.
yeah, like why would
Oh,
you
yeah.
do this?
Yeah. He doesn't know.
No, thank you. All right, you can get rid of that if you don't want it.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll just
All
put it-
ritual it cast when I notice that he's left it out. All ritual cast purify food and drink, so it'll be safe to give to him.
I'm not gonna eat it. That's weird. It's been out all night. It's probably lukewarm.
Yeah, but it's fine to eat.
If I was dying, sure.
Well, no, I cast I ritual cast purify food and drink. So
Yes, and if I was dying, I could eat the lukewarm fish later. But I'm
Still.
not. So no thank you.
In a word, you.
Ito doesn't care. He'll just eat the fish.
All right. It seems to be of good quality. Held up pretty well for being the evening that it spent. You're not sure whether that was the magic or whether it was just something that was put in as it was made.
So step one, we want to go talk to the barkeep or whatever about where the best place for breakfast is. Preferably where we can be a little loud and no one will mind.
Before we go downstairs, I've divvied up piles of gold and, well, the equivalent currencies. It's combinations of copper, silver, and gold that I had in my bag. And so everybody gets 58 and Ido gets 6.
Wait, 58 copper?
Split currency totaling 58 gold, split between gold, silver, and copper.
I am liking Elendio's creative math in these past 2 days.
Ito looks at the 6 gold and he's just like, this seems like slightly less.
You're new. Do you plan on sticking around?
Well, it would be good to have a group that sort of is traveling and knows my situation, and it seems you need someone in full armor.
He
Well,
does have pertinent information into our current investigation.
I mean, if everybody wants to give him 10 gold, you're welcome to.
I hand him 10 gold.
Or however much I guess you want to give him. I took a portion out of everybody's cut to give him that, so.
I'll hand him 10. In case you acquire anything for travel, any additional gear that was taken from you that you have not reacquired.
Yes, thank you. I believe I have acquired just about everything I lost when they first got me. They kept it in their trash piles.
Here's another 4 to cover what you paid for the room last night. So that was on me.
Ah, thank you, thank you.
All right. Mazeki, you ask the innkeeper where to go for breakfast, and it is suggested that you head to the Warm Elderberry. They have the best breakfast, you are told.
Back.
Let's get to it.
All right. So, You go, you get your breakfast. The warm elderberry has their special is elderberry pancakes, and they have a nice elderberry wine that they serve with it in the morning for those who like to start drinking early.
Well, we're about to hit the road, so Seth is all over that. How much does it cost?
So for the pancakes and the wine, it'll be 5 silver. For those who want to forego the wine, it'll be 1 silver.
That's an expensive wine. Boom, 5 silver. Done.
I'm gonna drop 9 and get an extra thing of wine to take on the road.
Okay.
Little early for wine. I'll stick to just milk.
All right. So throw in an extra 5 copper for the milk.
Run that price by me again for a sec. Sorry, I had to look away.
So 1 silver for the pancakes, or 5 silver for the pancakes plus wine.
Or a silver and 5 copper for pancakes and milk.
Is there an option for bacon and breakfast sausage?
So this place does not serve any meat.
Heresy. All right. I'll get pancakes.
Is it run by turtles?
No, it is run by Tabaxi.
Fancy.
Ito will be ordering breakfast with wine and then some extra wine. Not for the road, it's just for immediately.
Okay.
Ore is going to currently abstain from breakfast.
So Ito's taking the life is a highway and I'm gonna ride it all night long approach.
Sounds like it. All right. So you enjoy your meals, fill your stomach, and the day is yours.
During breakfast, I would have relayed everything I found out about the Fertle's blessing and the painting, and let everybody know that I have the sending stone for Zamza.
Ah,
And then
this is good.
I would also look to Mizeki and ask, do you by chance have any plants or vegetation or possibly seeds from your homeland?
I have a dried leaf, but nothing alive. It would have been foolish to carry one without a goal.
Understood. I was just wondering if by chance you had any vegetables that are native to your homeland. Is there a specific crop that is exclusive to your homeland that would be sent out for trade that we might potentially find in town?
My first guess is probably not, but they do grow a lot because they would probably consume most of their food there and import food.
Yeah, most food is imported into Utra. There's not a lot of exported food going out because what they grow there, they grow in very limited quantities. Because getting land that they can actually grow produce in is very difficult.
I figured as much. Okay, and if possible, we may have to return to find the temple, see what we can do to prepare acquiring something from your homeland.
That would certainly be one of the preparations I would hope to make, given this new information. Preferably something near Lament, if possible. Do we know, and we can ask the shopkeepers if there's any place we can get stuff identified, or if anyone here can identify? Because I don't think any of us has a pearl on us.
Can you use a gem, or does it have to be a
No.
pearl?
It has to be a pearl.
So you can definitely acquire a pearl in town. There are jewelers, but there is also a magic shop where you could take and have it. So if one of you can cast Identify and would rather just get the pearl, you can go about it that way. But you can always take it to the merchant who will charge you for the identification.
I could do detect magic on everything. I don't know if that will give us all the information we're looking for. And can I ritual cast that since it is a ritual spell, but I'm not a ritual caster?
It should say in your
Druids are
spell
ritual casters.
description for spell casting, and I believe druids can ritual cast. Like,
The only
Oh, we
ones that
can. Okay, then.
are by default, I think, are sorcerers and the specialty ones.
Gotcha.
Like, for example, I'm not one, even though I have magic.
Cool, cool. I will, while we're at the table, take a few minutes and ritually cast detect magic and see what kind of magic it tells me everything shows.
okay.
And you can select identify tomorrow, or whenever you swap your
I
spells.
don't actually think I don't think identify is one of my spells.
Is it not?
Detect magic is, but I don't think identify is.
It is not artificer, bard, wizard. Wow.
Yeah, it's very limited who can actually cast identify.
I can technically learn it, but that would be kind of a waste.
So, is it a waste?
But yeah, because I can't ritually cast.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to use a slot every
It
time.
would be really crappy for me unless I got the ritualist feat.
All right.
So I guess we'll ask what the cost is to pay to have things identified for now.
Okay. So the cost of the identification will be 5 silver per item, as well as, it takes the full 10 minutes per item that you would like identified. And it is per item, whether it is magical or not, cost that amount. So you may want to only hand over the items that you know are magical from Ore's Detect Magic.
Nice. Saved us
So,
some money possibly.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll do that. We'll go through all of our stuff. We'll kind of put it out in the room before we leave, I guess,
Okay.
for the day.
I'm curious
out
about
what is
the
magic.
potions.
All right.
Yeah, we got the potions. Make sure they're all magic. And see if any of the statues or books are magic.
Okay. So your detect magic reveals that, of course, the potions are all considered magical, as well as the bag that Alandiel is holding.
What about the statue of a knoll that's wooden?
That is not magical at all. Do you pull everything out that you...
I was hoping we'd probably do it in the room beforehand because I don't think unless we picked up all of our stuff to go to breakfast.
Mhm.
So we could just do it.
I would
in
assume it's
the
still
room.
all in the room because we haven't decided on where we're going yet. So we'll probably keep
Yeah.
the rooms for right now.
Yeah, so we'd empty out everything in Elendale's room, kind of in the area, and then make a list, kind of.
Okay. So you go through, and the only other things that you find that are magical is the bow that you recovered from the weapons room. And it gives off conjuration.
Ooh.
What kind of bow is it again?
It was a
Longbow.
longbow.
So I guess cool. With that info, we'll take them all to the dude.
Okay.
Let's do it.
When you went through the bag, did you just flip the bag inside out, or did you just manually take everything out of the bag?
This time we are
I
going to
left-
flip the bag inside out.
Yeah, there's really, I've got art, some gems, which we
There's
haven't
a
sold.
lot of stuff in
so-
there. So it's easier to just turn it inside out. Hopefully it works like we think it might work.
Okay, so you turn the bag inside out.
Yes. And then die.
Okay. So as you
I take the stuff out. I only put in the gold, the
Okay.
painting, and the gems and potions.
Mizeki will take the bag and turn it inside out.
I don't
he
give you the
needs to.
bag.
Mizeki will use his hand to do it. He's not worried about
I
being
don't let
detected.
go.
Doesn't matter. I can do it while you're holding it. And I got a 27.
so you take it from him. Okay.
No, I'm going to turn it inside out with the hand.
So, all right.
That's a big
So
head.
your hand grabs it and pulls it inside out. As it does, in addition to everything that Alandiel had put into the bag, more coins fall out, about another 50 gold's worth, as well as a small brass ring.
Is it any of that magical?
The ring is magical.
Hey, there was more stuff in there.
That's why you turn it inside out. I wasn't just doing it to be a dick to you. There can be stuff in there. We don't know just because you didn't put it in there. So I guess we'll gather up the money. And do we want to keep this gold as a group fund? Rather than
Yeah,
trying
we
to
can use
split it
that
through
for
all of us?
like the room in Ping and everything.
Yeah, it seems fair. So we'll start that here, and then we can figure out in the future how much people want to put into that. But we'll start that with the 50 gold group fund. And let's go get all of this identified.
Okay. So you go and you get the items identified. The bag is identified as a bag of holding.
Yay.
The bow is identified, and it is a bow of infinite arrows. It requires no ammunition. Whenever you pull back on the string, an arrow appears and knocks itself. So no ammunition is required for that bow.
Is anybody capable of using the longbow?
I can.
I also can. I'm not sure we want to be giving Ito magic items, though. He is kind of new.
All right. So the potions, which one do you want to identify first?
I got a gray one with the jellyfish bubble, a lime green one, and a portion that blinks orange to clear and smoky.
Okay.
We also have a purple one.
Okay. So which one do you want to have identified first?
Jellyfish? It seems
The
weird.
jellyfish. All right, let me grab that one. Just a sec here. That's the one I don't have offhand because for whatever reason I didn't write that one down.
Are we group funding expensing this?
Yeah.
So, okay. Let me
I
grab
would say
the
that's
potions.
probably the best idea because either that or we make the person that takes it pay for it. But if we're going to just keep all of these potions for if we need them, it makes more sense to just group fund it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
agreed.
money in the bag, so we could do this.
Yep.
The money in the bag.
Yeah, let's just pay for the money in the bag as much as we can.
So it's 4 potions, the bow and the ring
4 potions, the bow and the ring.
at
show
5
5
silver apiece.
potions. I had a purple potion written down.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
we've
I
got
have
five.
three.
Yeah, I see the jellyfish, purple, silver with oh, you don't have the silver with fingernail.
Ooh, I don't.
Yeah, so that's the other one we're missing.
Okay. So just a sec here. All right. So the one with the fingernail in it is a potion of hill giant strength. Let me find the one with the jellyfish in it really quick. The lime green one is a potion of acid resistance. The purple one is a potion of force resistance. The orange one that flickers and has smoke billowing out is a potion of fire breath. And the one with the jellyfish is the cloudy green and is a potion of water breathing.
Nice.
And that was the one I had to look up because I didn't have that one written down.
Mizuki will also put the ring forward. See what that is.
So the ring, it takes them a moment, and they identify the ring as a container, and that it is holding back some kind of being of immense strength.
Oh,
Wow.
neat.
Interesting.
And we don't know anything about the kind of being.
Is
They're
it
not able to tell
dangerous
us.
to wear it?
So they tell you that there is a very good chance that whoever wears this ring may be influenced by this creature.
Let me roll some dice real quick.
Any idea on the
Influence, yeah.
type of creature? We talking like celestial, infernal,
Elemental.
elemental?
Ooh, elemental. I want to wear it. Seems useful. Plus, of us that can run away, if something bad happens, I can get away from it the fastest. Objections?
Who's saying one of
Thoughts?
us has to wear it? We could just put it back in the bag.
Do you want an
So
elemental
much
to
cooler to
appear in our
see what
bag?
happens, though.
Think about it. If an elemental comes out of it or something, right? And it's in the middle of our bag with all of our money and our gear and our papers and whatnot.
It's been in there for who knows how long. I trust it'll hold.
Also, if you're wearing it, it doesn't matter how fast you can run because it'll go with you.
Assuming you don't take it off.
If you're even able to take it off.
He's gonna put it
Do
on
it.
and then try and take it off.
Do it outside.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll go outside. He doesn't want to be rude.
All right. So the ring is small, and it does not look like it would fit your finger. As you
Oh.
go to put it on, it expands,
It's a magical item.
and it slides onto your finger. As it does, it then shrinks down, and you cannot remove it.
Shit.
It's cursed.
Oh well. Again,
Seth will
if something happens to
smirk.
pop out of it, I'm the most likely to be able to get away from it.
And then in your head, you hear a voice. It goes, "Who are you? You are new. You are fresh. It has been a long time."
Don't like that. Mizeki's gonna try silently responding. I am no one and all, and who are you? If nothing happens, he'll say it aloud instead, quietly.
So, as you speak this into your mind, you hear the voice come back. "I am Twister. We will have fun."
I'm sure we will. He's not going to mention that something's talking to him.
As this is happening, Mizeki's clothes begin to billow. Not
Like my
just his cloak.
oh, so all of my clothes are billowing. My entire body is now a cloak of billowing.
Interesting. Seth will take out a dagger and say, "Do we need to remove that ring, friend?"
As Sephon says this, you get the impression in your head to protect the ring at all costs. Don't
I
be
would like to roll deception. It's a 9 to appear nonplussed.
My insight's a 7, so
Perfect.
there you go.
All right.
Mizeki's gonna say aloud, I think it might be an air elemental. It doesn't seem particularly chatty.
It's talking to you?
No, not really. I mean, you saw my fabulous tail, of course.
Ooh.
So he's going to implicate that the flushing of the wind is all of the communication that's happened.
I feel like Sefin probably wouldn't be the only one to make an insight check on that.
Probably
You
not.
all are welcome. He's lying. Chop off his hand.
Ito got a nat 20 plus 3.
The question
I
is,
got a
though,
17.
do you do anything with that information? That's the important part.
I got a 20.
Ito is standing nearby with a hand axe ready to cut off the finger, but he's not actually going to do anything.
All right. Yeah, so Ito, Sadzi, and Ore, you know that Mizeki's not telling you everything.
I don't believe he is being forthright with us.
What if we go sell the rest of this armor I'm carrying? Because it is quite heavy, and none of you have had to carry it.
I could carry it. You just. No, that would be
No,
racist. I'm going to cut off that sentence there.
I don't think you could, to be entirely honest. But because he's
At
currently
least
got
some of it.
3 chainmails, 3 ringmails, 2 spears, 2 daggers, and a warhammer.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
He had to leave the pear tree behind.
With that insight check from us, would we be able to determine if Mazeki was still in control?
No, you would not. So Mizeki is just not telling you everything. That's all you gain from that.
He's not being fidgety or like crazed eyes, so I don't really care.
All of his
How-
clothes are still billowing, though.
How
I
much
just think
did
that's
Mazeki
super
say he was
cool.
carrying?
Yeah, he's basically just figured out how to make his cloak super fabulous. Now it's all of his clothes.
Didn't you just buy a Cloak of the Link?
He bought that back in the other city, yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's useless.
Undermined by the DM.
Don't worry,
Only
you can
because
just
you're the
do
one that put it on.
I mean, I've got to be the rogue sometimes, right?
True.
I should have put it on my mage hand. That would have been funny as hell. All right, so let's go sell all this armor.
All right.
Sure.
He's going to add mentally inside his head, can you stop the billowing? Or is this going to be a constant thing? Because it's a bit disruptive.
So it was 5 silver per item that we identified,
Yes.
and it was 5 potions, the
8
bag,
things. So
8. Okay, 4 gold. Okay.
So we're down to 46.
46. Yep.
Do you want to track the group gold on your list somewhere? Just in your other possessions is what I've been doing.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, where can we? I guess we'll ask the merchant guys. Where can we sell all this armor and weaponry?
Go. Well, the smiths will take it, I'm sure. You could try the general store. I suppose you could even try the magic shop, but I don't suppose they'd be interested in anything non-magical.
Let's start with the smiths, maybe.
All right.
See what they think.
Okay.
Segway.
So you head over to the local smith. It is a human running the smith here in Bracknell. Goes by the name of Ronan. So he's got bright red hair and a goatee. As you approach, he calls out and goes, "Adventurers? Need new gear." Very excited.
Actually, from some folks who intended perhaps damage to the town, so we're hoping to help out the town instead.
Selling, not buying, huh? Bummer.
Actually, I think we could buy some stuff. Do we need any stuff? I need a grapple kit or a climbing kit if we don't already have one.
I'm sure we could work out a trade of sorts.
Mizeki, you notice that your steps feel a bit lighter than you're used to.
Oh god, that's gonna make him all out of sorts for a little while. Because he's super used to knowing exactly how hard he's stepping and stuff for stealth. He's gonna politely ask the air elemental possibly living inside his head now to stop messing with things until they can have a chat about it.
What kind of armor does this guy have?
What kind of armor does he have? As in, what is he wearing, or what does he have to sell?
What does he have to sell?
So he has all sorts of armor. He specializes in leathers and hides, given the area that he's in. But he does have some breastplate, some chainmail, and a singular set of plate mail.
Were you looking to get breastplate, Ori?
I was interested, yes. What is the prices of these breastplates here?
So the price of the breastplate is 400 gold.
That is a little outside of my range.
What
But
would
thank
you
you.
give us for these? And he'll pull out the extra 3 chainmail, ringmail, and 2 spears, 2 daggers, and a warhammer.
Okay, so you pull out 3 sets of chainmail?
3 chainmail, 3 ringmail is what you said. And
Okay.
then 2 spears, 2 daggers, and a warhammer.
Okay. So for all the chainmail and all the ringmail, you'll get 105 gold in total for all 6
Nice.
of them. And then how many spears?
2 spears, 2 daggers, and a warhammer.
2 spears, 2 daggers, and a warhammer. So for the 2 daggers, you will get 8 silver. For the 2 spears, you will get 4 silver. And for the warhammer, you will get 5 gold.
You said it was 105 for all the armor?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want the hammer, Stefan? I know your people favor them.
Nah, I prefer my beast forms over mundane weapons.
Fair enough.
Thank you for asking, though.
So that's 110, 111 gold and 2 silver?
Yep.
Cool. Do you want to add that to the pile? Might as well.
On it.
And this shop is like the armor and everything, but the magic shop would be elsewhere, or is it all in one?
It is elsewhere.
Okay.
Did
So-
you need something from the magic shop?
Yeah, we can handle it. Well, it depends on how you want to handle it, Insanity, but I can just ask you off air if we need to, instead of going through a laundry list of items.
So
Plus, we're poor enough that we probably can't afford very much.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, you won't be able to afford more than anything really common as far as magic items go.
Yeah.
But yes, you can
So-
definitely ask about them. If you want to save that for off air, that is fine. we can do that, but you are more than welcome to do that now as well.
I just need to. It's probably for later. No
Okay.
worries.
No problem.
So we've got a null dungeon chest that I'm keeping. We can put stuff in it. And I think otherwise we're good. Like we've got all the statues and everything. We could look at seeing if anyone wants those, but those are maybe general store. And then we can head back to the fortress. Is that the plan?
I do have a question. So the mayor told all of us that he'd call for us in the morning, whether he heard a message or not. And I know he went to Ore, but does that count, or do we need to go find the
I
mayor
think
as
that
well?
counted.
Yeah,
We can check
Ore would
with-
have relayed all that information over breakfast.
We definitely wanted it. We told him we would check in with him anyway if we were going to leave again. So we
Yeah.
might as well.
Okay.
So I guess if there's no other shopping stuff immediately, I guess we can see if the general store wants the statues and then go talk to the mayor real quick to let him know we're going to head back to the fortress.
Okay. So to the general store. What all are you selling here?
Any of the little statues we got, except for the wooden knoll one.
Okay. So for your various other statues that you have, all in all, you'll get 50 gold for them.
Damn, son.
There were a lot of
Nice.
statues.
Does the wooden knoll one mean anything to the general store employee?
No. They look at it and they're just like, did you
It-
carve that yourself?
It goes in the knoll chest.
The null chest?
Yeah, I have a chest we stole from the knoll dungeon. The little we stole the smaller chest that wasn't pinned to the ground
Why do you call it a null chest?
because it came from the knoll dungeon, where the gnolls attacked us first.
Interesting. So
So
what
he's
would you
gonna-
call our chest? And they point to their chest that's behind the counter.
I mean, I wouldn't ever
The
take
store
your chest.
chest.
That's the store chest. I wouldn't be taking your chest. We took the chest from them because they tried to kill us on sight. And so we used their chest to bring back the things that they no longer needed to help the town.
I was just curious, as there's nothing that identifies it as null
Well, that's why the knoll statue goes in it.
to identify it as null. Okay. I can see
It's
your
important
logic.
to keep things. And hopefully in the future we'll have other little statues or drawings or paintings to identify. It helps building a memory.
While all of this is going on, Ore is going to pull Sadzi aside and say, I have the sending stone for Zamza. And I believe Zamza is your counselor, is that correct?
He is the counselor for this town, yes.
Would you like to be the one to establish the lines of communications?
No, that's fine, you can.
No, thank you.
Okay. He's going to be a little puzzled for a moment and then put the stone back in his pocket.
Does the stone reset at dawn or is it a day thing?
It's once a day.
Yeah, it's once a day. I don't recall when it resets. Let me just pull up a sending stone.
If it doesn't say, it's just whenever we finish a long rest, but only once per every 24-hour block, I think.
Yeah.
I always like dawn. It's a good one, but it gets confusing if like we're doing something past midnight.
Come in pairs, blah blah, curve to match. They can't be used until the next dawn. So yeah,
Okay,
so it
it's dawn,
resets at
cool.
dawn.
So we probably shouldn't use it until after we've checked out the fortress.
Yeah, let's go do that if there's nothing else in the city.
I'm gonna give the ointment to one of the druids or cleric because it's weird that I have it. Actually, no, I guess it isn't weird that I have it.
Because
'Cause
you're
I
the
can-
one
I
that
can-
gets grievously wounded.
Well, no, I can avoid being hit, so I can move in to help someone by disengaging and running up.
Yeah,
Never mind.
and Seth is not usually in a state where he can apply it. So
Just
All
go
right.
to the bear. He'll give you ointment.
Okay.
the Rocktopus is just like wailing on a knoll with one tentacle and like slathering on ointment with another one.
So I guess we'll pop over and talk to the mayor and let him know what we plan to do,
Okay.
and then head out.
All right. So you go and you arrive at the mayor's house, and he is not there. Given the time of day, he is very likely in the town hall.
That makes sense. We probably should have gone there first. We're not very good at this, are we?
It's a learning curve.
It is. Well
So-
then, to the town hall.
All right. So you head to the town hall, and it is open this time of day. As you go in, you see walking into a room in the back is Plazat.
So he'll trot on up to Plazat and let him know we've sold the gains and equipment. We're planning to head back out towards the fortress and see who's returned, and then see if we can find any other locations they may have been at.
Okay. Plazat just kind of stares at you and goes, next time, knock before following me into a room. And he gestures to the other person sitting in a chair who was wanting his attention.
Will do. And he's going to do finger guns and then leave.
And as you leave, you hear him apologize.
It's okay. We're adventurers. We get away with doing dumb stuff sometimes.
All right.
So onwards and outwards.
Onwards and outwards. So you're
Yeah.
heading back to the fortress in the swamp.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that is a good point for us to end. It's a little early this week than normal, but I think that's a good stopping point. So we will go ahead and end there for this week.
Awesome. Thanks for coming out,
All
everybody.
right. All right.
All right.
Does anyone know how to turn off the stupid container thing in inventory?
The container thing in inventory.
No.
Yeah, it turns my backpack into a container. It turns my crossbow bolt holders into a container. It turns my chest into a container.
All right, bye everybody. We'll figure this out off stream.